Hello, I'm Gloria Slater, and I wrote the historical novel Lumens Seek the Light about my mother's events in her life living under Hitler. Yes, Adolf Hitler in Berlin, Germany. I self-published it on Lulu.com and then on Amazon.com, and it was entitled Lumens Seek the Light. But just like you, everybody went, huh? So I retitled it, and now it's called Heddy's Miracles. Lilo's family defies Hitler and all natural laws. In the deepest darkness, there is light at Albrechstrasse 9. Yes, and everybody else feels that way too. They're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. So I'm excited today to read to you Chapter 2. It's one of my favorite chapters, probably my favorite chapter, because I grew up, of course, with a German mother, and I loved to hear her speak, and once I realized she had a German accent. And I also loved the way she did Christmas. It was just fabulous. So here, Heddy's Miracles, Chapter 2. Lilo's large brown eyes gleamed. The face of the clock on the Rathaus Tower looked like a small moon. As far as she could see, the wee lights of Christmas dotted everything. They shone the brightest through the deepening darkness, tucking in around the city. Even the tiniest lights couldn't be drowned out. None was lost in the growing night, nor by the presence of the full moon and its small complement of stars. Each little wisp of light shone true right up to the horizon. Yes, the light. It fascinated her. A glow from somewhere way down inside spread to her cheeks and tugged at the corners of her mouth. The warmth transformed a wispy, thoughtful smile into a cheerful grin. A sigh, softly rustling through her cool, wet lips, vented the awesome burst in her heart. It was the most wondrous time of year. As always, how could she wait? She always thought it would get easier as she grew older, but every year it was just as hard as the year before. Her cheek slightly brushed the icy cold pane. Her breath blurred the view, bringing her sharply back to reality. Christmas was almost here. She could no longer contain her excitement. Light from the hallway spilled into the unlit room, chasing the darkness away. Komm hier, mein Liebchen. Tante Clara's curt demand matched the tone of her dark navy dress. The lacy white collar only served to make her appearance even sharper. Her silhouette in the open door peered into the shadow of the unlit room, beckoning insistently. For a fleeting moment, Lilo wanted to run and hide in a dark corner. She shook off the impulse, but was hesitant to leave behind the remarkable mood instilled by the evening light. She lay her head dreamily on her fingers, crossed atop the white painted sill. Her thick chestnut pigtails splayed to the sides of the window. In 3 steps, Clara was at her side. She was slim. Her clipped, wavy, russet hair was strangely soft around the harsh, narrow eyes and lips that obscured her delicate nose. But it was the way she used them that made her seem so hard. The weight of her hand on Lilo's shoulder with the touch and whiff of new fabric brought Lilo to her senses. Come now, kleine Lieselotte, or you will miss it all, mein Liebchen. We are about to start the Christmas carol. Wiping the window clean with irritated jerks of her stiffly starched, lightly embroidered handkerchief, she went on while watching her work very carefully. Everyone's waiting for you. Looking directly into Lilo's softening eyes, she implored, Santa Claus will be here soon. You don't want to miss him, do you? They both knew it was time for compliance. Tut mir leid, Tante Clara. Lilo humbly murmured her quick apology as she hustled through the doorway into the brightly lit hallway. Erica's earthing eyes grew dark as her pudgy fingers pushed the candle into her sister's lean hands. Lilo automatically shot back a thinly veiled retort and joined in singing O Tannenbaum with the rest of the family, dressed in their best finery and giving their utmost for the sake of festive fanfare. Lilo sang boldly. Her voice joyfully rose in pitch and excitement when she finally dared to sheepishly gaze around the hallway, tightly packed with aunts and uncles, her bratty sister, and of course, Mutti. She assessed that everyone was there. She was glad and sang even louder. Lilo smiled at Uncle Richard in his sharp black trousers and fancy cotton shirt, bellowing off-key. He winked back. "This is the best Christmas ever," she thought. Mutti was positively glowing as she too surveyed the happiness that filled the tiny abode to overflowing. A slight nod from Mutti and Lilo's guilt faded away. As they segued into silent night, the anticipation drove them wild. "I wish Papi could be here this year," Erica said aimlessly. "For once I agree with you," Lilo responded, trying not to be overly congenial nor critical to suit the occasion, but mostly to keep from receiving more retribution. "Georg would love to be here, aber ja, he had some last-minute errands to attend to, Kleines." Tante Lena obliged with a smile. "Vielleicht, meine Kleinchen, he'll be here next year, ja?" Heddy tried to placate her younger daughter. "Let's try to sing loud so Santa will know where we are." Ericchen, ja? Their voices broke forth with assurance. Soon Santa Claus would make his appearance, as always on Christmas Eve. He'd laugh out loud, reaching into his huge sack for sparkling treats and special toys. He'd open the door to the living room, beginning the real festivities. Lilo couldn't wait to see what the tree looked like this year. It was more and more beautiful every year. And this year, she'd overheard the adults' excited whispers over something special about the tree. Those knowing glances between them keenly magnified her anticipation. She imagined the small green prickly ends and the rest buried in shiny glass, silvery and gold ornaments, every single nook brimming with all kinds of spun sugar, thick marzipan, and rich chocolate candies. She smacked her lips. What could be better? She wondered. Her foot moved, touching the cool wood floor through the hole in the ball of the sole. She stared past the faded blue folds of her dress as if she could see the hole. Picking her head up, she noticed the others looking at each other curiously. Tante Ida, shorter and slightly heavier than Tante Clara, was clicking her tongue and shaking her head ever so slightly. Uncle Richard's thick dark hair bounced up and down as he shushed her. Tante Clara glared at Mutti, her unspoken message full of meaning. Lilo took in a deep breath, trying not to let it upset her. Then she spied Tante Clara's husband, Anton. He was crying again. A genteel tear was poised at the bulbous tip of his ruddy nose. Why does he always have to cry at Christmas? Lilo murmured. Her lament almost blew out her candle.